Hey guys, how you doing? Uncle Bob here once again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the movie review of Snow White 2025, which was released on the 3rd of the 19th of this year, and yeah, it comes from obviously the very well-known story of Snow White. Obviously, it's been done several times in other movies. I can't remember exactly how many movies there's been. There's been quite a few. I'm sure if I've seen two other versions of it before. I've definitely seen the Disney version, which was released years and years ago. I'm not sure, as I said, I'm not sure if there's. Oh yeah, there was also. I think there's two other versions of each. Like I said, it Disney version, which is the animated one, and then Snow White the Huntsman, which is obviously Chris Hemsworth, sort of more of an action type version of it rather than sort of a fairy tale. I quite like those couple of movies as more my type of thing. So yeah, but I don't know if there's any other versions. But then I mean, started making another new version of this, sort of more similar to the Disney one, but obviously it being real people other than animated. So yeah, I did this. So it stars Rachel Zegler or Zegler. Don't really know much about her. Gal Gadget or Gal Gadot or however you pronounce it. She's obviously been in DC's Wonder Woman and other DC films I've had Wonder Woman in, Batman, Superman, all that. Andrew Burnap, not sure if I've heard of him before. Jeremy Swift, doesn't sound familiar. Jason Kravitz, don't think I've heard of him before. Martin Kleber, don't think I've heard of him. George Salazar, don't think I've heard of him. A couple of the others, yeah, I don't think I've heard. So quite a well, not unknown cast apart from Zed Gal. I don't think I've heard of any of the others. No, it all seems as if it's quite a young cast. None of those other names ring that many bells, to be honest. Yes, it's quite a young. I would say, but probably quite a weak cast. 'Cause usually get like at least two, three, maybe big names. And apart from Gal, can't see any other names in there. Yeah, so it's quite a young cast, unknown. That's a cast. Anyway, the story. There's need me to tell you. I think everyone pretty much knows the story of Snow White. It's got a brief summary. This is on Sky, by the way. So I'll just try to read this brief thing so I don't blabber on too much. So, following the violent king's disappearance, the evil queen dominated a once fair land with a cruel streak. Princess Snow White flees the castle when the queen, in her jealousy over Snow White's inner beauty, tries to kill her. Deep into the dark wood, she stumbles upon several magical dwarfs, obviously the seven dwarfs, and a young bandit named Jonathan. Uh, Together they strive to survive the Queen's relentless pursuit and aspire to take back the kingdom, which is pretty much the summary of it. But I mean, you pretty much know what the story is by now. So that's pretty much it, and you know the story. Now let's get to basically if I like this or not. Now here's the thing. I think it got quite bad reviews of so-called being an office bomb. Uh, and they've rated it on this on Sky 4 stars, but I wouldn't even go as far as that. I mean, it's done that badly there. Maybe rated better on here than it is actually at the cinema. And my thoughts are probably going with maybe box office bomb being quite harsh. I certainly wouldn't rate it 4 stars. I probably would say like 2. I think one's quite harsh, but maybe again like 2 stars being not great, but just like a few bits here and there that are all right. If I'm being honest, I don't know. Maybe this sort of come at the sort of like the wrong time. I don't know. Maybe people just didn't want another Snow White film, or whether it's just bad timing. I think there was a lot of press going into it about it. There was a lot of things that happened previously leading up to it with like Trump and stuff. Some remarks made, something. Yeah, so I don't know if it's bad timing or just a lot of things that sort of, yeah. I mean, it's all right. It has its moments where it's all right. There's a bit of action in there that's not too bad, that I don't mind, but probably not enough of it. It goes into too much of a musical. Sort of the thing is with this, it's sort of supposed to be like an action adventure type thing, which it is, but it's sort of leading more towards sort of a musical, sort of like you know, the ABBA film, whatever it is. Yeah, so I think it's sort of also like sort of confusing. You know, you think it's well, supposed to be an action adventure, but it's sort of like too musical. And I think they should have made it one thing or the other. You know, being either should have just kept it as a musical and just made it appear to be that it was pretty much going to be a musical, because you know they break into song every sort of like 10 minutes or whatever it is, which I'm not a fan of any musicals at all. So yeah, this has the problem. Whether it intends to do that or not, as I said, I think it should be either one thing or the other, just a full musical, and then just at least people know it is a musical, and then that just clarifies that. But then it's sort of an action adventure, but then it goes into a musical, and it's sort of a bit all over the place. I'm not a fan of musicals. I don't like them at all. So this was, every time I broke into song, I was just didn't have any interest in it at all. I just really want to get on with what was happening. Yeah, so it just has a habit of just keep every sort of opportunity it gets. I think it's, yeah, every opportunity it gets, it just sort of starts breaking into a musical, which becomes quite annoying. When the story happens, I think it's okay, you know, sticking to what the story is and all and that. But then again, it just keeps breaking into song, which is quite annoying. As I said, there's a few bits where it is, and even some stuff with a couple of the dwarves, it's quite sweet and endearing. As I said, it does stick to the story when it does, and there's a few bits that are alright, but then it just keeps going back to just being transitioning into a musical again, which is just really confusing. I think actually, when I looked at this, I thought maybe they should have sort of done. First of all, they should have stated the fact whether it's an action adventure or a musical, one or the other, making it just confusing. But I actually thought they should have done like maybe a comedy sort of version of this, made it like quite more funny. Maybe that would have come across a bit better than have it. Maybe would have done it better than what it did do the cinema. Maybe sort of like a comedy fun version where it's sort of like funny. Maybe that could have worked. Yeah, for that. Yeah, as I said, there's bits at times where it's alright and that, but it comes annoying and it's too musical for me, for my liking. Good and bad. The time, I'd say the time is alright. It's not too long. So it's not like it's 2 hours. Although maybe for what it is, probably is too long. I think it needed to be the length that it was. Played the story out, and that. Characters seemed to be okay. I think they did portray all the characters that they needed to. For the action, for what it was alright, wasn't too bad. They did stick to the story, but bad, yeah, just comes with musical, which is what, you know, being one thing or the other, it just goes into keep musical and it just really confusing. The acting is alright, but I wouldn't say that fantastic. The cast is pretty weak, not well known. Um, yeah, I think overall it just is let down. Just said, I think it's just bad timing. As I said, yeah, I wouldn't rate it that much, but I'd say if you don't mind musicals, then it's worth checking out. And I'd say for the actual story, to be honest, I would say if you don't mind musicals and you can put up with that, then I would say definitely check it out. But if you don't like musicals, if you're not a fan like I'm not a fan, then I wouldn't rate this at all. So I'd say 2 stars if I'm being I'll be fair to give it that. Definitely wouldn't give it 4 stars. So that's gonna be my review of this Snow White, guys. So guys, enjoy this video. Take care. Bye for now. See you soon. Thanks for watching.